Hey, it's your boy VG Time, and we're here with.
Tru-Story, man, from the Ganja Force.
What's going on, Tru-Story? We close this door because,
Just
we got
playing
some
cards,
heat.
man.
Got some
Just
heat
playing
out
cards,
here.
man. Loving it. Dragon Ball Super is alive.
Yes, it is.
Don't listen to the haters.
Definitely,
We
definitely.
here.
So I have him up here because he tubbed me up in the game a little earlier using.
It was very tough. Much respect to Cumber.
Yeah, so we here with SS Vegeta.
Vegito.
And on the backside is Goku and Vegeta. Now, a quick
AKA
question.
Spirit Bomb Cool.
Your Spirit Bomb Cool. So what made you choose this guy over other yellow Saiyan leaders?
Really, it made me feel like Icarus, and I never played Icarus, but to charge 2 energy, take 2 life, draw 2 cards, swing my leader, draw a card. That's +5 on turn 2, no matter what.
Oh yeah,
That's
true
kind
that.
of hard to it's kind of hard to downplay that power when I go to 10 plus cards on turn 2, no matter what you do.
True that.
You know
true
what I
that.
mean? So that's what really lured me in. Not to mention the Spirit Bomb. I like gimmicks. I like having an alternate win con, things that my opponent can't always see coming or affect. You know what I mean? So not
True
to mention
that.
they got rid of Champa, so double strike leaders is a plus. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So
definitely.
that's mainly why I was drawn to him as a leader. And the archetype just supports him very well. And as everybody knows, yellow has one of the best card pools in the game, so it's kind of hard not to play a good yellow leader with a great yellow card pool. You know what I mean?
True that. True that. So let's get into the leader itself. We see it starts as Vegito.
20K on the front side.
True that. And then once you get to your second energy, he does everything he said. Take 2 life,
Automatic.
draw 2. And then comes the 15K Goku and Vegeta.
Yep.
The names matter.
And then when you awaken, you search your deck for this card here, which I run 2 of only. And then you activate this, and this card lets you put 1 yellow battle card from the top 3 underneath it once per turn. And if you do so, your leader can rest a battle card of your choice as long as it doesn't have a barrier. And once you get 7 or more underneath there, you start doing some crazy things, which we'll get into.
Do you have like any tips on like what cards you should be putting underneath there?
Things that you necessarily don't need for the match is how I do it, basically. So as I'm going through my top, if I know that these cards are in my deck, but they're not necessarily going to be relevant to the matchup, those are the ones that I'm seeking to stuff underneath there. And 1K for 10s are perfect. You know, obviously it's hard to run the 1 for 10s that heavy because you don't want the, your hand to get clumped by them, but they do add to the combo power eventually when you use them. So if you can stuff a few 1 for 10s underneath there, that's another really good thing you can do for yourself there.
Great advice. All right, so let's start with the Z deck since it's laid out.
Okay.
So we have the Imagine Vegeta, of course.
Barrier removal, mostly. Dual attack crit.
So why 1 versus instead of 2 of it and 1 of the Goku?
Well, because this guy is very rarely played because I have so much border removal and I also have barrier removal built into the deck. He's not super relevant. +3 energy is very expensive for a yellow archetype. And if you've never played one, you will, trust me, you tap in 3, it feels like you tap too many. So this guy is very rarely used. He's just to get rid of a problem and put some extra pressure on. This guy is he's more relevant, reliable for the game period because he can save you from being killed by just your opponent's leader if that's all they have. They have no battle cards in hand, no battle cards in play. You play him, tap their leader. They essentially don't draw, don't do anything.
Right, and then if they do play something, you can just tap
that guy.
And then
if they do play, you can tap it down. So he's way better than him. He's just situational, and he's just needed to fill another Z slot, and he made the deck.
Then we have this package right here of the Goku and the Majin Buu from the start of that. Yes. I'm assuming that's because you run the Vegeta?
Correct. Which they didn't get used today because I just had so much pressure already in my hand. It was almost, not saying it was a bad play to not do them. I just didn't feel like I had to, and I wanted to save my Z energy for other Z plays. But the Vegetas are in there for that play in case I have him in play, no battle cards to play. I could Z play to restand and keep going aggressive.
Cool. Now explain the Z leaders to me.
So boom, you have 4 or less lives, 2 or more Z's. You tap 1 and you go into this guy. This guy will Z stack this guy. You lose the effect to rest a card when you put him in play, but you speed up the Spirit Bomb's acceleration because you get to do 1 here, and then once per turn he can place a card underneath this. Again, you could put the 110Ks underneath there, beef it up real heavy, and you draw 2 cards. So, you know, you lose the draw from the front, but you draw 2 when you put a card underneath there. And you can always just put anything. Don't recommend you ever put anything without combo power, as it's just a wasted card when you use the bomb.
Okay.
But you can do that. Get rid of a card that's just, you know, an extra card or something that's just taking up space to draw 2. You could if you're really desperate, you know what I mean? After you get 7 or more, obviously, that'd be probably not a bad play, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he comes into play, and if you have 7 or more cards underneath this, you remove this card from the game, and then he plays him, and he also restands. So it's you get a free lead swing, and it's also free to do that. It's just activate main 7 underneath this. You play this, remove him, and he's 20K base. When he swings, you draw. And if you have 7 or more underneath there, which you have to play him, this allows you to use all the cards underneath it in a combo. And he has a activate battle. If you have 7 or more cards in your combo area, he gains double strike, and you negate the skills of all the cards in your opponent's combo areas. So super combos get turned off. You know, activate battle cards get turned off because they're got to be comboed. Some of them, not all of them, some of them. It turns off a lot of effects, though, but it's very useful as opposed to, like, them using super combos and drawing. As Cumber found out, he had to use his cards beforehand, and it basically just weakened the defense power of the cards in hand, basically.
Yep. All right. Let's continue on, actually. Let's get a little bit closer. All right, so we already talked about the Vegeta.
Yep. He also, he's 2 energy. If you have 2 or more energies and your leader is Yellow Son Goku, Vegeta, or Evil Babidi, all yellow, you draw a card, or you play him, limit 1 yellow. He has Servant, so he gains 10K on play. And if you have a yellow Son Goku card in play or in your Z energy, he'll gain double strike. And when he attacks, he KOs a 5 cost or less in rest mode.
Whole lot for 1 energy.
Whole lot. And then we play set of the Turles, more board removal, 20K draw. You'll see the theme of this deck is no little bodies.
Cool.
We play 4 of the 8 drop. SPR is looking pretty.
Yep.
We played 2 Vegito counterplays. Bears ball hurt us bad today, hence the reason why we took a loss. Shout out to the Bears ball and Sin Shenron pilot, Po Patty, my only loss. I split my super combos. I went with 2 Krillins moments before comeback and Lord Slug's henchman, which is really, to me, a lot better because I can use it from the beginning of the game as long as I have 2 cards in my Z energy, and I usually always have 2 because I have so many cards at combo. I set that up. So I like to go to 2-2 split so I can combo early, save those late game.
True.
We go, we got 4 Mecha Freezers because, you know, he's just Mecha Freezer. I need to see him. And we go 3 of this guy because we play 4 of this guy. So this guy right here, for 1 energy, you play him, you draw a card, and if you have the Spirit Bomb in play with 6 or less underneath it, he gains 11,000 permanently. And then we have the Evolve target. So essentially it's tap 2, draw 2, and barrier removal. When you combine them, it's fabulous. Not to mention he's also a 20K body.
It's beautiful. Yeah, I totally did not think about this being the play, and it made total sense. All right, 8 drop Boo.
Yeah, you know, Boo, we only rock 2 of those because it's a late game play, but he's devastating. 30K double strike. You need to have 4 more energy to play him. His limit 1 yellow. He has deflect, so he's going to land. And, you know, not many things counterplay 8 drops. So, you know what that means. He's going to go home for a swing. And then this right here is like the staple of the deck right here. This card is
Probably the best generic yellow
yes.
card. Assuming
Not
you play
to mention,
those,
this is the only
leaders.
card that I know that I can essentially just play and get rid of Zamasu with Indestructible because he negates the skills. He also helped me a lot versus Green Majin Buu because they had the clone token things in play, and I just negate that. It doesn't give him the option of using his permanent.
Right, right.
You know, the one of that we can't rock no more than one of, but it's one of the greatest one ofs, Power of Super Saiyan.
Yep.
We rock one Freezer Reinforcement.
Whoa. What's up with that?
You know, just a little save my ass if you get me into trouble. It came into play today too. I can't lie. It definitely came into play today.
So one token negate. You're a wild man for that one.
Just one. And then we go another one of with the Basil. You know, any yellow deck's got to run him. I go 2 Final Flashes.
Cool.
Just trying to keep the combo power heavy so I don't rock a lot of extra cards. But you know, anything to help Mecha Frieza helps. We go 2 of the SGRs.
So
you know,
how is that helping you out?
So this card, to be honest with you, he's really here for border removal. But after today's game, I do believe he is going totally into the sideboard because there is already so much border removal in the deck. And I actually do not really like the auto to play him because it's not many times where that's going to come into play where if you play him in offense and your opponent is going to play a 5 cost, they're not going to do that. And then in defense, it's not easy to rest somebody's cards unless you're playing more of the Realm of Gods or you know, things like Bergamo.
Yeah.
You know, I do have the poutine, but you know what I mean. But it's just not that reliable to main that as a strategy. I usually use him more as a card that can be tucked. It doubles as a combo and, you know, border removal if I have an energy to expend on a turn without having to negate. So I only play 2 of those. The SCR, I went for Bardock as just sometimes it's just too deadly when you land him, man. Tap down anything. Well, not anything. Yeah, tap down anything, ignoring barrier. And then you can KO 2 battle cards. And then and your opponent gets 1 battle card attack. So he's essentially a flood negate in offense. Not to mention, if you survive him, you know, you should probably play the lottery. I played 1 Swift, and I really felt bad about that. And
so I was playing around a card that I didn't need to be thinking about.
Yeah. So mind you, this is my second time bringing this deck outside. So I'm still getting a feel for it. So one of these slots is definitely getting replaced by that Swift Retaliation because that definitely is just way better card for the deck than this one is. This card is great for other decks, just not this one. Another one we got the Vegeta striving to be the best just for some more barrier removal. Hence the reason why I only play 1 of those Vegetas because that's like having 2 basically.
Yeah, then you also have the 3-drop Vegeta that you evolve with.
Not to mention he can KO ignoring barrier. You know, we got Final Flash to blink something and a million cards to KO. So you got ways to touch barrier. Barrier is not a problem for this deck, I don't believe. We played 3 Nimbus, and I will go up to 4 with the other slot here.
Oh, okay.
My brain's already thinking, so that's Swift Retaliation and my 4th Nimbus right there. We played 2 Poutines, and she was definitely a gangster today. I actually wish I played more of her, but you know, you just can't. Sometimes she sticks for too long. 2 of the Metacooler. Infinite Terrorist, a free negate if you have a Z battle card or a Z leader, which we usually always have going into like turn 3, turn 4.
Yeah, great card.
It gains 5k if you have another battle card in play and barrier. So, you know, it just becomes a 15k body to attack with if he survives not being comboed. We got 2 Borgos, Feelings Bequeath. It's just a counterplay. It can tap down anything 7 cost or less, not ignoring barrier, but it's an auto, so it gets around the fleck. So that card is very essential. And we play 1 of Trunks for Bunch's son, which I probably will cut as well because it's just a 1 of, and it didn't really come into play because it's hard to see a 1 of. So who knows? That maybe be another Poutine or another Borgos. I think that probably would double better as a Borgos, to be honest with you. see that card more often. And then last but not least, we played a 1 of the Black Smoke, which, you know, came in very handy today. But I think 1 is good with the draw power you see in the deck. Not to mention, you know, he just may not necessarily be used, but he's just in the deck for Unison in case we come across him in this non-heavy Unison meta. And that's
at worst, you draw 2, right?
At worst, you draw 2 or get rid of a body. So, you know, it's not all that bad.
Alrighty.
And that's her in a nutshell.
Thank you very much for sharing this deck with me.
Appreciate your time, sir.
Any shout outs?
Hey, I want to shout out to the Ganja Force, man. It helped me in so many ways that I can't even begin to explain. I just want to let them know I love y'all, respect y'all, and just the whole Dragon Ball Super community, man. Keep faith, man. You know, don't give up, don't give in, don't listen to what these people are saying. This game is very much alive, and if it isn't, then I wouldn't be here.
All right. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.